Sup, party people out there? Well, this is interesting. I haven't done any kind of like video or whatnot. Well, obviously you can't see the camera thing right now because the webcam I was using, the video thing is like glitched out completely. So the audio still works, so I'm just going to have to do this now. Yeah, I'm probably going to get another webcam as soon as I can, and that'll be on the priority list. But we had a drag queen story time in Woodstock, so that was interesting. I found out about this through my grandma, who was going to be a counter protest, and of course she gets, she's the one that gets the nice little picture in the CBC or whatnot. But anyways, so I went there to go and protest it myself, and there was other groups that were there too. The thing is that they were doing a thing where they went in there to protest silently, and they were just taking up seats, and so. They took up a bunch of seats, and they were a decent amount of people. There was about 20 people that were there to just take up seats and whatnot. And so there was about, maybe there was a little, I have to admit it, there was a little, slightly bit more people from the LGBT thing that were there. So I'm not going to lie, there wasn't like a little bit, from the appearances or whatnot. But me, because I didn't want to, piss off the library, and, this is one of the things where I'm definitely against it, and it's definitely a branch of the New World Order that I need to fight. But it's not the one that I feel is more, like, the most, like, it doesn't really matter to me. Like, I don't give a shit what people do sexuality. I'm not really socially conservative, but, I definitely see the traditional values, and the more we go towards, degeneracy, the quicker the society will collapse. That's just history of ancient civilizations going back as far as the eye can see. It's ridiculous how... So I was there with a bunch of people that were actually, like, more people that were not religious. The actual protesters, the ones that were really religious, are the ones that were in that were inside the building. And so CBC comes there, and of course they're not going to come over and ask any basic journalistic questions or whatnot. Of course, I didn't make it easy. As soon as I saw the CBC reporter, I said, well, I could tell something smells around here. So, I was just making fun of them, because I knew they were going to be lying and disingenuous, and they proved me right. The CBC article that they came up with for that thing is, supporters outnumber protesters at drag queen story time. It's like, come on. Most of the actual protesters were inside the building, but she was too stupid to realize or do any basic journalistic reporting to realize that there was, like, other people inside that were trying to protest. No, she just said, Oh, I'm here for 15 minutes. I'm here for 15 minutes. Oh, look, you're a supporter. She got, like, a picture of a guy who's twice as fat as me with a freaking mask on. Like, fucking give me a break, CBC. You couldn't be any more leftist, Marxist, and stupid. And so freaking... That's the story. They put it. I was actually gonna go in. I was thinking about it, but I was just like, no, I'm here to say what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna. I understand the strategy. It's actually a brilliant strategy, because obviously CBC and the mainstream media, they just saw me with my sign talking to a couple people who were just like, who didn't even really know about it. There was one lady I was having like a conversation the entire time. I think she was just kind of falling on hard times, maybe a little out there, But she was talking about how her experience with bad things in the government, and you can't negate her experience, because she was talking about how she was working in the system and CAS and stuff like that, and had to deal with like a lot of crazy stuff that she was talking about, especially with like pedophiles and how they're just predators. Like they don't think the same way that normal people do. And I agree with that, and there was another guy who didn't even know about the protests. His name was Aaron. He's just a dude that believes in, like, protecting kids or whatnot, and he didn't even know that there was the drag queen story time thing or even a protest. He was just walking by, and so he ended up sitting out there and having a good conversation with him till the end, and I ended up going home. But the funny thing about the CBC is, look at how they're just going like, oh, look, the majority, as if like everything has ever been dictated by the majority. No, it's always been a few smart people in the minority that be like, hey, wait a second, what's going on here? This doesn't make much sense. And then, he's right, and then, the orthodoxy changes, but then you need a bunch of other people to approve it, right? And that's the reason why we are in this shithole thing where you get this elite group of tiny minority people that do run the whole world by using everybody else as the majority. Oh, we have to play to divisive. Oh, more supporters than protesters, even though that's completely fake news. I'll be honest with you. You could easily say that there was about 50-50 split. I was surprised at how many people, I guess from church groups, and there was even moms that were going there with their kids, it was more like a mom that had, she had like a really young baby, so it's not like the kid knew anything that was going on and stuff like that, like young mothers with young kids, I mean, and yeah, so I was like talking, I was like, oh hey, that's awesome, and noticed that there was a decent amount of them, and I'd say there was just same amount of people, but they go for the photo op on the front part of the Woodstock library thing, but if we were to go over there, then it would have been a thing. But the whole kicker of this, of the fact that this is like 100% fake news, is that the actual protesters were inside protesting, and then when they came out after it was over, they were on like the right side. There was like a decent group of them. They were on the right side of the library thing, because they were given the protester, like the counter protesters and the LGBT people, their space, because they're Christians, and as much as they disagree, they're not violent and they're not going to try to start anything, right? And so that was pretty crazy, because I mean, like when it comes to that stuff, the only people that are going to be violent is the left. And I guess like it's kind of cool. There was one person that was kind of, you could tell they were a little mentally unhinged, and they kind of thought we were like the I guess like the Christian conservatives. But like people, there was a couple of people that came over, and I told them, listen, I'm more agnostic. Like I hope that there's a spirit of the universe of justice that punishes bad people for all the crap they do in life, and rewards people for being righteous and doing the good thing. I mean, I don't see the disadvantage in that, because I know I've always tried to do things in the spirit of beneficial good. But at least I still have to say the truth for what it is. Like you don't. I would have a problem if strippers were reading books to children in a library. They haven't made the best life decisions, and I'm sorry if all of a sudden I'm the asshole in society that called it out. But the funny thing is, they try to say, oh, protesters, there weren't that many protesters, when most of them were inside the building. What gets me laughing is the fact that they were all kind of like coming over, like there was a couple people that were coming over to me, and they were kind of like, oh, but there was this one crazy lady, so once she started talking to them, they were kind of like, they kind of didn't know what to think, right? Because she wasn't really there for anything for the protest. She's just kind of like a lady that's just been kind of like going through a lot of hard times and stuff like that, and I guess she just kind of walks around and just like talks to people. Nice lady, her name is Kathleen. Seems like she's gone through a lot of crap in her life. But, I mean, we're still having a good conversations just about, like, different problems and stuff like that. Like, I actually had a great time just talking to people. And there was more old people that were coming by that saw my sign, and they say, you know what? Good on ya, that were giving me the thumbs up. So, but the thing is that they're all elderly and it's conservative, and they know it's not fashionable for them to be there, protesting it, or they just, which I understand, they just don't care, and I mean, you can just keep not caring as you send your kids to a school system that indoctrinates them and instead of teaching them life skills or how to be good at things or send them to trade school, no, you're going to go to school for 4 years and learn about absolutely bullshit nothing Marxist indoctrination and how fucking evil history and white people are, and all this bullshit that they keep trying to force down people's throats. And that's what it comes down to. That's what it is. It's an institutional fucking, just takeover on every aspect of culture and education and even sexuality. You can't even just do nothing and just do your own thing nowadays. It's ridiculous. Everything has to get shoved down your throat. The answer on TV to everything is print more money. Just keep printing that money. It's ridiculous. And so I'm a little pissed off because, I'm not surprised. As soon as I saw CBC and CTV, I don't even know if CTV did anything, but there was the one lady there. I guess probably CTV showed up. I'll be there to support you, girl. I think her name is I have to look it up or whatnot, but it's something stupid. And of course, it's she wouldn't do her freaking didn't have the balls or the journalistic integrity to come over and actually ask somebody. Because, I mean, we weren't even the Christian fundamentalist side of things. You know, those people were inside protesting. And, you know, they took up a decent amount of room, apparently. One guy tried to go in there and start talking a Bible verse, and I guess he got kicked out. And so, I mean, I understand why they're doing it. Me, I guess I kind of made the story, you know, because... you know, even though they wouldn't show my sign or anything like that, because they wouldn't show a sign, because that one was more like blatantly telling them off, was, hey, groomers, leave them kids alone, you know, play on like the whole the wall. And freaking the other side was, it's okay to play Hogwarts Legacy. And they would never put that on there because it would make them look so stupid. But of course they got my grandma's picture on there with her and the sign. And you know what? I emailed the lady and told her just like how stupid she was for not coming over and at least asking the other side of the story, you know. But they don't do that. They're smart enough to know exactly what this is. And to be honest with you, I kind of like, I see where the Christians are coming from, but I see this as a losing battle for the sexuality side of things, because, you know, you're not going to be able to, like, stop those parents that are obviously brainwashed ideologically from taking their kids home, and they're going to probably show them the next episode of RuPaul and then tell everybody on Facebook it's because the kid really likes it. Yeah, no, it's you know, it is what it is. You know, there's stupid fucking people out there that are brainwashed into their own ideologies and shit. And me, I'm actually more libertarian. Whatever, you know, like, I don't really care what consenting adults do behind closed doors. And I wouldn't have a problem if they were doing just like a community event where it was just for everyone, and they were just, you know, doing a thing at the pavilion, which they do sometimes, and just like give out sausages and hot dogs as a joke, you know. You know, I mean, like, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But the problem is that this is directed specifically towards children. The literature isn't just kids' books. It's made by trans authors that have their own ideologies and things. And that's what I have a problem with. You know, kids don't need to get screwed up with the multiple gender thing, you know, in school, or, you know, a lot of times these leftist teachers, I mean, a good percentage of the teachers are leftists. You know, they'll do everything they can to work around the system to try to put stupid suggestive things in there and get kids all messed up with things that they, you know, like, I mean, I remember going through the school system, and because I was a smart kid and because I moved around a lot and because I didn't have good social skills, you know, it took me a while to really develop them, to become, to learn how to be more, you know, kind of like, I guess, you know, kind of more like outgoing and stuff like that. You know, it took a long time for me to develop those skills. And I'm at the point now where I just, you know, there really is no point. I'm definitely more introversive, I guess, now, just because of, like, the way that everything's going. But, I mean, I still had fun talking to people out there and whatnot. And I'm the kind of guy that can agree to disagree or whatnot for the most part. But, you know, I mean, I understand people have their viewpoints, but what pisses me off is when people come over and try to tell me that I can't have my viewpoint. So I had a little bit of an argument with my my sister and my mom, because, and, you know, my grandma probably didn't really agree with me being out there either, but, I mean, I respect my grandma for being out there. I think she's completely wrong, and I think she's contributing to, you know, like, the downfall of society, but, you know, 10, 20 years from now, the whole thing about the LGBT thing, trans thing, it's going to be more like, you know, people being against the editing of babies, or the implanting of, like, brain neural net devices, you know, in 20, 30 years, or whether or not we're merging with machines, and whether or not those people have souls, or whether or not it's, you know, we're going completely like technical. Like, those are going to be, like, the issues that it's going to morph into eventually, because it goes to the whole transhumanism aspect of what they're trying to promote with the UN agenda. And a lot of that comes down to depopulation, too. It's any kind of things that they promote. And, you know what pisses me off? It's the Optimist Club that was funding it. And, you know, I mean, like, let's not forget the fact that the Optimist Club and Masonry are kind of a little bit intertwined there. And I think that's kind of interesting. You know, they're not helping, you know, these people have immense community wealth, and they're not like putting it into let's get like housing for people or whatnot. Let's get let's spend it on like making sure that our maybe getting like a food supply locally with farmers or whatnot that are willing to donate a little bit and do like a thing there with their money and funds, or feed the community and stuff like that. No, they'll do it in a small regards. Like they'll have a little party every now and then where they have it for their members and stuff like that. But they don't really do it for like the amount of money that they're spending on this crap. They should easily just do it to like help people out more in the community, but they don't, because it's all an agenda now. It's all LGBTQ. We got funding for your taxpayer money to go towards it. When I'm sorry, but we don't fucking deserve. They have equal rights. Get your own fucking money for your own damn events. And to be honest with you, I don't even think they should be holding those in public libraries. That's ridiculous. It's so stupid that they're doing this stuff for kids there. I mean, if you want to do stuff for kids, donate food, or or donate clothes. I mean, the whole society, economy is about to crumble pretty much at any time. Banks are being national. The whole bank system is being nationalized and backed by taxpayer debt even more. I mean, how long that's gonna go for, who knows? And they're out there showing that the real, the police out there, instead of there was three squad cruisers there that were patrolling up and down, making sure that nobody got rowdy or whatnot, when pretty much everybody was peaceful for the most part. And it was pretty funny because they have all these people that are homeless and stuff in the town, in the city, that are destroying buildings, getting all messed up, robbing cars and shit like that. But were they down there stopping those people? Nope. Were they out there looking to see maybe if China had a secret police station in the Oxford area in Woodstock or London? Nope. We can't do that. We wouldn't want to offend our fucking liberal overlords now, would we? We wouldn't want to bite the hand that feeds me, right there, freaking Woodstock police? You fucking cowards. Don't try to make me think that you guys are the good guys in this. I see how much of a fucking snake you are. And Jerry Achione? Oh, that guy is the biggest snake of them all. Oh, he's just up there. Oh, I just love Woodstock. I want to keep Woodstock. Meanwhile, he's supporting all these bullshit globalist agendas. They're making more police forces because all the fucking property taxes are going up because all this shit's going down. People can't fucking afford to live anywhere. And the housing crisis is a problem because they brung in so many freaking foreigners here. And, I mean, unfortunately, I don't have a problem with... they got a guy who lives with me, Andy. He's a Canadian citizen now. He came over here doing the student thing and then started working his ass off. And he's the kind of guy you want over here for I'm not anti-immigration or for an ethno state. He's a dude that I'm glad is over here, and he's the kind of people you want to come over, and integrate into your country. But there's been a huge just mass influx where they'll send a giant group of people to certain areas where they know that they'll vote certain ways, especially conservative areas. And they'll take over those conservative areas and be like, okay, well, there's low tax rates here, so everybody comes over there, and they make it more socialist. And then, it gets to the point where it's hard to find rental rooms or any kind of place to live, and then the rent just jumps right up to the point where you can't live. It's almost ridiculous trying to buy a one-bedroom apartment or even a bachelor thing now. You have to pretty much rent rooms now unless you've got family or somebody that or people or friends or whatnot. It's sad. They definitely know that Canadians will get bent over a barrel and we'll keep paying. That's the sad thing about Canada, is that we're just too nice. We're too nice and stupid and complacent. They'll keep bending us over that barrel and screwing us over. And they'll be like, oh, geez, why is beer getting expensive, boy? Oh, geez. Oh, why is my coffee going up a couple cents every year? Maybe I should support fucking Ukraine. Billions of fucking dollars that we don't have. Let's just send it over to some fucking neo-Nazi regime led by a fucking weird Jew. I don't understand. I don't make the rules. We live in fucking clown world now. It's absolutely ridiculous. But those freedom trucker convoy boys, oh, we saw one Nazi flag. Oh, the price of milk. Oh, no. Rock. I'm the Penguin, Pierre Poilievre. It's ridiculous. Yeah, so I'm a little pissed off that, but I mean, at the same time, too, I knew it was going to be a thing. I knew CBC wasn't going to tell the truth from whatever point of view. And it's just like, okay, if I wanted to, like, at least show a semblance of, like, objectivity, I would have at least gone over to some person on the other side and been like, hey, how's it going? What's your thing? Maybe take a couple pictures and say what they believe and the other people. No. We can't have people that are concerned with the sexualization and the, sterilization and pedophiles in every fucking part of Hollywood. Jimmy Kimmel on the fucking Epstein flight logs, apparently. I don't know, it's hard, it's almost harder to get, to find out what was in that little black book client list, like the actual meat and potatoes of Epstein's, debauchery. We can't find out about that because we don't want to hurt people's feelings. Oh no, the price of milk. Fucking ridiculous. People from all over the world, all these fucking celebrities, you find out they're all a bunch of fucking demon-worshipping fucking kid fuckers, or self-worshipping in their own weird fucking way, or part of fucking Scientology, which is like a weird brainwash fucking cult, where they have like billion-year contracts and shit like that, ironically nobody ever comes with, like, oh yes, hello, I'm here to claim the other life of my billion-year contract. I don't remember who I was particularly, but I'm sure I probably am the former life of some other dude that joined up in your fruity organization 1 or 2 lifetimes ago. Oh my god, it's ridiculous. I mean, I got no problem with people who do like have religion and stuff like that, do worship a god, and I do like Christianity because they don't implement it so much now. Like, there's been enough schisms and breakups and sects and stuff like that and divisions that they've gotten to a point now, and like society is advanced. Because I talked to like some of the people and they're like, oh, well, we need like prayer and God back in schools. And I'm like, no, we just need to not have Marxist ideology in our school system. Like having both a left and right curriculum which like talks about like the ideologies of both sides will probably put us back. If we just started talking about dialectics or like teaching like the basics of like philosophy and how that's important and like how societies run, or like basic economics in school, they won't teach you that. Like, they might do a thing when you're like a little bit older in like the teens, if you're like in the basic ed program, because they just assume that you're stupid and you can't handle finances, and they might give you like some sort of thing that like helps you budget or save theoretically in the thing. But none of it's built or geared toward actually making you like efficient or like self-functioning in society. It's all about, you have to go through all this like communistic propaganda now to the point where it's, just take that crap out of it. And it doesn't, and what the counter argument isn't like, oh, what you want to put fascist ideology in school? No, I don't want that either. Just having objective, neutral opinions. And, like, you can't even do that because biological science is fighting with the social scientists. And, that's the culture war in a nutshell, if you're looking at it from a educational or from the intellectual aspect of things, because the people at the top are the ones that get the funding from the corporations and everything like that, and that used to be something that the left used to be against, but now they're all big FISA. I see all these leftist organizations, and of course they got the guy who's fatter than me with a giant freaking mask on his face is one of the main pictures of the thing. Oh my god, CBC, you don't even realize how bad of a self-own you freaking did on that one. But the funny thing is, the people that were there and the people that were there know that you guys were full of shit. And that, I mean, you go for like, CBC went for the most stupid divisive headline. Oh, supporters outnumber protesters. As if that shows anything. Oh yes, we have to go, there's more of us than there is of them. It doesn't matter if we're completely wrong and fucking up kids. They're the ones that need to be censored. We can't have those voices out there. There's no room for hate. It's just love here. Unless you detransition, then fuck you. Or if you're Blair White, then we'll find out where you are and try to death threat your ass. Or like streamers streaming Hogwarts Legacy, a game by J.K. Rowling that people just enjoy because it's a good game, or being like threatened, and like people were like spurging out because they didn't want to leave their house in protest. No, they're gonna go there just on stream and just cause shitter on Twitch. Ridiculous. But anyways, I guess that's pretty much just my rant on that. But I guess I'm gonna keep going because I haven't done any content in a while. It's been a while. I was just doing mostly rants, and like I haven't really done a whole lot with that stuff. Well, mostly because I'd have to do like editing, and y'all know, if anybody has watched this channel for a while, no, I do not like editing. I'm a one-take guy. Let's do it that way. I don't get the money for that crap. Maybe if I got money and I like was able to like get an editor or like learn it myself, because I'm just horrible at it, I'm gonna have a heck of a time trying to figure out how to put like a just a thing, like a picture on this thing so that it can upload as a video file. So that's gonna be fun. But everything's a learning experience, I guess, and I'd better get off my ass and try to do it better. I mean, I've done it before with other videos where I was doing it with the different, I think I was doing like different countries. I was doing a few other things that I was doing on my channel before on YouTube, but not really doing that much anymore. It's just more of a pod, just me talking into a microphone this time. But soon I'll get it back to cameras again. But I've decided I've got to get back into that. I was getting a little black-pilled. I was watching a lot of Raging Dissident, and that's I'm not saying it in a bad way. I mean, the guy's completely right. It's, he's completely seen it from his thing where he's wasted 15 years of his life in the military and saw his friends get completely fucking destroyed, either by enemy fire or the government not giving a shit about them. So it is what it is, And I mean, I'm not against people living their lives. Whatever you want to do, consenting adults, that's one thing. But don't push that on children at an early age. And the funny thing is that it's the same group of people that like it looked like a lot of those people had were gay people that were just bringing their kids there because they're part of the Facebook group. The people that like everything and they got their Facebook likes and tweets or whatnot. I don't really care about it myself. Like, I'm kind of in a Facebook group, but it's more with like people that are kind of more of the freedom-oriented thing. And of course, that crap's being monitored. So of course, I try to keep what I'm saying on there like consistently somewhat logical. Like I'm all for freedom, and I'm all for people exercising their right to protest. And this is one of those things where I'm. For the most part, I was kind of thinking, I shouldn't go there. My grandma's going to be there. My family's telling me not to do this. I do have I guess a brother that does like to do drag queen stuff like that, and I support him. Like do what you do in life, and I just tell him, you got to be careful because there are people out there that, it's not an easy life to live, and especially if you go through the full snip, then you're putting yourself in a lot of unnecessary pain. And so I think he's just kind of doing the bi thing now, using that part of the alphabet community. I don't know, but more power to him, and I hope one day he maybe comes to his senses. But it is what it is, and I just want him to be happy and be happy and successful in life, pretty much, I guess. It's all you really can hope for people. I mean, I love my family. They mean everything to me. But at the same time, too, I wish I could like meet a decent woman and like have has like similar values, and I could like have kids or whatnot and like live my life the way I want to, as opposed to like having to stuck living my life for others in my family. But I mean, at the same time too, it's a self-sacrifice, and it's also like challenging because I have to stop myself from getting too wound up about certain things when I disagree with people, because I'm not I can be agreeable, but it has to be I have to like know that the people are good people, and like I have to have that trust in the whole system of the exchange of being social. If I'm going to go out there and I'm going to meet other people, and hey, we may have ideas, we may not have ideas that we agree with, but we can still get along then, or at least be like, okay, I regret getting a little heated there in the argument, and saying, hey, but let's move on or try to find a common ground. Most of the time you can, but when you start dealing with ideologies and stuff like that, people just get emotional. They don't look at the fact side of things. And unfortunately, I live in a matriarchal kind of family where the men's ideas and what we have to say, gets kind of disregarded by the uppity bitches. And I love my mom, I love my sister, I love my grandma. But they gotta know when to step the fuck aside and let the men do the talking. And, it is what it is. I don't have tits and I don't have a pussy. I think about things differently. I am a man. If I see any kind of threat that enters the domain, I have alert signals. I have biological alert signals that pop up my brain and says, no, this person is fucking evil. This person could use this as a means to fucking do shit that, is going to be harmful. And so that alpha fucking male part of the brain pops up. And, you get all these assholes out there in the manosphere that are, and I mean, like, they make a lot of money off of it, and to some degree they are right about certain things, but they're also taking things from a cynical kind of black pill thing, and if you do that all the time, then it's not good. But there is definitely there's two genders, and we both think differently, and as much as society tries to tell you that's not a thing, it's a fucking thing. So I mean, there's guys out there like Jack Murphy and shit like that. I'll be like, oh, be an alpha male, buy these supplements and do all this shit and work out. And I mean, yeah, if exercise is good for you, it's kind of hard for people like me because I'm like disabled. My back hurts like hell. I mean, even just going down and sitting down and protesting for a couple hours, like my back is feeling it today. But it's good for you. It gets you energized and stuff like that. But it shouldn't be like your entire life's a goal. But the thing is, a lot of males, we need that encouragement. We need that leadership, and nowadays we're pretty much bred to be a bunch of stunted growth, arrested development children, like grown kids. That's the reason why, so many people give a shit about comics and stuff like that. But I mean, at the same time too, though, the people that are really into that and that actually make the money, like Nerdrotic, for example, I love their channel. I'm glad what they do. And even though it was funny they had Gavin McInnes on there that was like kind of giving him shit or whatnot, because Gavin don't give a shit. He does what he wants. And he's pretty funny to have on a stream. It's a total wild card. For anybody that probably knows what I'm talking about, who I definitely recommend watching that Nerdrotic stream where they had Gavin on. Because even though people got pissed off because there are people that are like deadly into the nerd thing and aren't really left or right, they got a little pissed off because he was kind of making fun of the nerd culture. And I mean, to a certain degree, yeah, because before, the comics and the stuff and the cartoons were more for kids, back in the day, where it was a thing that you grew out of because there was much more interesting things in society and values and stuff like that were that people liked to do or felt welcome in. And what happens when you destroy the entire culture, comics, cartoons, all this stuff just with entertainment media, and you make it all Marxist and agenda and talking about the message, as Critical Drinker coined it, I think. I think that's the beginning of pretty much when that kind of stuff started taking over, just to the point where people got older and they're watching the stuff that's meant for their kids of the same franchises that they liked, and they're like, oh my god, this is horrible, this is just shit. It's like not true to the original art form whatsoever. And even some of the kids now, at first they'll be like, oh, this is awesome, but then at the end they'll be like, I hate this. And the woke media tried to pretty much brainwash everybody into thinking that you are the MCU is a good thing, and that killing off strong male superheroes is what's needed to bring in their diversity replacements, and people see through it, and that's why Hollywood's hurting right now. And I think that's a good thing. That's why I definitely support the Nerdrotic thing, and that's the reason why I do look into different aspects of culture and the culture war in particular. And so this whole kind of transhumanism, transgenderism is all being completely supported and thrown out by the UN. That's the reason why we weren't able to get rid of the new sex ed curriculum, pedo approved by the liberals. We did everything we could, and it got thrown out in the Supreme Court. So, the High Court of Canada, the Supreme Court, is, it's interesting because some of they were pretty good on the individual rights and the whole, for the most part of the lockdown and people that were fighting the tickets and fighting the persecution. But we've also lost a lot. They do come down. It's almost like, I don't know what they're huffing up there. Maybe it's glue. Maybe it's like maple glue. I don't know what's going on up there with those wigs that they're wearing. And, I think the reason why they wore the wigs originally was because of the I guess a lot of British men were bald in the elderly of their years. And, syphilis was a bad thing, and apparently you get sores and lesions on your head if you have syphilis when you get older, and so they put the powdered white wigs on there to keep them with the little regal responsibility, something that didn't look like they had as much syphilis and sores on their head as they're condemning common criminals. Oh my god. Well, you prostitute lady, you get 6 years. 3 years if you do things in my commons chambers. Oh my god. But anyways, so it is what it is, we're fighting a information war. It's propaganda like you would not believe. And hopefully I sent a somewhat nice letter, but I said that you're full of shit, and I completely called her out on it for not even talking to the other people on the other side of the protest. She just saw one guy and 3 people who were just walking by pretty much that weren't even really after the drag queen story time thing, there was a few people that were originally in there that came out to say hi to me, because there's a bunch of different groups that were there, religious groups, and they teamed up. There was I think there was about 2 or 3 different alternative groups, and they were there was the ones that are supporting Carl. He was the guy for the Ontario Party candidate for the last provincial election. I actually did some canvassing, and it was just horrible trying to do canvassing around here. Everybody was conservative or NDP or liberal, or even the ones that... There was one lady that was, kind of thinking about it, that... I don't know if she was just being really nice, because you can't... I was going to, press it. She was a really nice old lady, and, it's a neighborhood where, we're in Woodstock, and there's a lot of people that do try to take advantage and show up to people's doors and try scams like that. So, when you're canvassing, you have to be very mindful. And me, I'm kind of the first sign that I see that somebody doesn't, isn't interested or whatnot, then, I'll be like, all right, sorry for bugging you. Thank you for your time, and have a great day. It's really all you can do. You can't just sit there and be like, and go off on a moral thing and try to get people to, because they'll just be like, get off my property, and then you pretty much got the cold shoulder as it is. So, unfortunately, dealing with people, it's really weird. You have to have charisma and popularity and for that thing to work and a sense of community. But the community is completely destroyed now. People don't know who you are unless they see you out there doing something crazy, and then they, maybe from then on out, you get a little bit of focus and attention. There's been people that have been fighting their whole damn lives against the New World Order and, never get any attention or never get the spotlight, or if they do, they, it's well past the time that people should have listened to them for. That's just how it goes with humanity. So I know I've gone about 38 minutes now? Damn, that's long. But, 39. But, anyways, I guess that's pretty much it. Like I said, I kind of dropped off the radar there for anybody interested. I haven't really done a whole lot of stuff the last few months. I've been mostly just trying to, keep a roof over my head. Everything's gone up in prices. The food costs are ridiculous. I'd probably be moving this year if it weren't for the fact that my grandma's selling her house and moving in with us in a renting house, because it's we even need a roommates and stuff like that to help keep the I mean, the rent thing is high enough, but it's the bills and all the other costs for energy and hydro and stuff like that just kind of have increased with everything, and the food costs too has just gone ridiculous. And we also have like 2 kids where I'm living, right? My sister's kids, so they like to eat food all the time, so it's ridiculous trying to keep the food costs and everything down and everything. So it is what it is. I think everybody's is struggling. That's listening to me rant, anyways. But you won't hear that about CBC. You won't hear CBC talking about going over to the reporting on on a national level the amount of food refineries that are being shut down or mysteriously catching fire, or how much of you don't see them promoting after a supply chain breakdown. I mean, we're in rural area here. They should be like talking about more more interesting things, or trying to do things more for protecting like a local economy, or even just the food supply on a national level. But you don't see that stuff. Of course not. Like they're going to send their media there because they say, oh no, there might be people there that disagree with indoctrinating children. So we need to send our reporters there and our police and our community services resources there because any bad things can happen. Like why not just have like one cop there that could just call his buddies if things get worse. But I mean, like, the thing about Oxford is that it's a really kind of like laid back, conservative, old school traditional community, and like Norwich is more kind of like is a little bit more radical. They're kind of more like old school, and they'll fuck shit up because they're like Dutch, and the Dutch are you don't want to piss the Dutch off. I mean, like, I don't know how they're gonna do this thing in the Netherlands without. I mean, they're shooting at freaking farmers, and I mean, I'm hearing farmer suicides. There's farmers that are that are taking stands, and we're not hearing about it in the media. Of course, the media will report on it, but it'll be like, crazy farmer, shoots at police and gets murdered or whatnot. And they won't talk about the fact that, like, the government was taking their fucking farm and everything, and, like, a farm that probably was in their generations for, like, like a bunch of years, hundreds of years of farmers that are they're not getting the ability to have you got a permit, Nate, to grow that food. It's how it is nowadays. You gotta have a permit for everything. And I don't mind regulation and the fact that you're making sure that everybody's following the rules and playing along the same lines. But this is fucking bullshit. You can't even have like a pond for ducks if you have like land or whatnot. You have to go through a ridiculous freaking county thing and pay a bunch of money to a bunch of assholes that are bureaucrats and take the money and put it for bullshit fucking drag queen story time events instead of putting it to where it should be fucking used. It's ridiculous. But, we live in clown world, so honk honk, because everything is a fucking joke now, and everybody's all fucking sexualized and opinionated and knows everything, even though they don't take the fucking time to look at the other side's arguments. So that's what we've come down to. I'm just this one guy and a sea full of other people that are fucking absolute morons. So that's kind of the reason why I haven't really done a lot of content, just because I've been depressed as shit, and I've been just watching this whole thing fall apart. And I mean, you gotta understand, like, I've been I've understood that Alex Jones, and I think a lot of people that are like the only people that are probably listening to me right now are probably people that understand what I'm talking about. So I mean, I'm sure y'all feel the same boat where you got kind of left alone or whatnot, and feeling alone in the dark, and you're just seeing this tyranny creep up. And I mean, I've been talking about this for years. I've always been political ever since I was like in teenage. I've always been political. Actually, I've always seen and been interested in how politics can like shape a society and people's beliefs, and like how people act around it, and like how it like the tribalistic thing and like facts and emotions play a huge integral part about things, and how a lot of it is just a popularity contest and just saying all the right things that different groups of people and focus groups tell you to say. It's ridiculous. The people that actually do have balls and actually go out and do things in this world and make change are the ones that they don't give a shit about what people think. They know that they're in the right, and they go out there and they say their piece, and they do what they do. And I mean, I'm just a crippled guy. Like, I'm limited to what I can do physically. I mean, I still got a couple good fights in me, probably. But, politically, and if, in that situation, if somebody ever tried to, take my life, I'm not going to go down easy, that's for sure. Even if my back is, I got a good thing of adrenaline. So, there's that. But at the same time, too, I mean, I'm also intelligent enough to know that, this is a war that you can still fight as much as you can non-violently. Like, I don't want this to go into some sort of, collapse Mad Max society or whatnot. And the thing is that the way that we are now, everybody's so pussified that there aren't really any real men to stand up to this tyranny. Like, there's enough out there that's saying, there's some people that are kind of seeing it, and I think the public in general is starting to see it and admit it, but it's hard for themselves to admit it, and they have this shame, like, oh no, they've made fun of people like me or people like us that are listening to what I'm saying right now, my voice, and have made them feel like they were, nothing or whatnot, and they probably feel bad about it, or maybe they know that the vaccine has damaged their family, or or they suspect it. And the thing is, when is that going to ever come to a fruition? Because it's sure not allowed to in the media. It's not like we can't even have one politician in the leaders' debate that actually was for freedom. That actually was like, okay, this is ridiculous. We need to open up the economy. We need to not cause huge amounts of inflation. And then I hear these fucking morons telling me, oh, but inflation's going down. Oh, it's going down this year. Oh yeah, no, it's down a couple percentages. Oh yeah, after it's fucking raised, and how many fucking taxes have been put on fucking everything? The interest rates fucking raised on fucking houses. Why the fuck would you raise interest rates right now at this time of the fucking time? Unless you know that the whole system is going down. They don't give a shit. Moody's just downgraded the fucking credit rating of every fucking national, pretty much bank and credit institution in North America. Down to it's gonna fucking collapse, boys. Get your money out of there. It's ridiculous. It's so fucking ridiculous. People are just, oh well, it's okay. It's going up more. Just keep spending more money. That's gonna work when people realize that their dollar's fucking worthless, and there's no fucking food at the fucking supermarket, or the money's worthless, or everybody's panic buying and they can't get the stuff that they need, and people are fucking dying. How well is that going to happen when you get people that are going to start mobbing fucking grocery stores and just, they already have thefts on the rise to a ridiculous degree. When's it going to get to the point? I mean, we got all this Marxist ideology in Canada. Why don't we all just go to the grocery store and start stealing fucking food off the shelves? Huh? Because when there's no fucking laws and the whole economy is completely freaking collapsed, what do you think people are going to fucking do? You think that nice little Canadian politeness is going to fucking held out forever? No. People are going to fucking take to the fucking grocery stores, and they're going to take whatever the fuck they need that's left on the shelves. And then it's going to be a person, who's got the most. It's going to be a meritocracy of psychos, and that's how you get the Mad Max kind of society. The problem is that we have so many weaklings now that are like, oh, save us. Oh, CBC, CTV. What's their solution to everything global? What's their solution? Oh, we need to print more money. Oh, the government's not giving us more money for programs. Oh, just keep printing that money. Why aren't you paying your taxes and printing more money? Oh, just print more money. That's the solution. It doesn't matter if that money has to be paid by your kids or your fucking kids. Oh, no. We care so much about your kids that we're going to steal their economic fucking financial fucking future away from them by putting them in constant fucking slave debt bondery. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So that's what we're putting up with, and banks are collapsing left like dominoes, left, right, and center. Nobody seems to care about that. And the ones that donated to the woke programs are not doing too well right now. So maybe it's good that those banks get taken out. But then there's the macro outlook of it. When you look at all these small banks that are getting taken out, and the big banks are doing pretty good right now because they know they're going to be getting customers. And those big banks are the ones that are saying, hey, we need that Chinese social credit system. In fact, hell, we have the Chinese social credit system here in Canada. We have tons of banks that have deplatformed people or canceled their bank accounts or said that you are persona non grata. You can't do banking here. No, we will not let the people we do not agree with have the bank accounts. They cannot do the business. We are not Nazis. We are just giving money to Nazi regimes in Ukraine to try to start war. But we are not Nazis. We are not Nazis. We do not support the Nazism, but we do support the euthanization of the mentally ill and the people that want to kill themselves. But so what? It has the parallels to what we did in 1930s. I know the medical establishment now is seeing us all as pawns and lemmings that they can call, but we are not Nazis. Canada is we're more communist. We like to see a little commie-Nazi. We're like, yes, we like the Nazi medical establishment tyranny, but we really want some of that cultural Marxist Mao struggle session added in there too. Oh yes, we must have the Marxism, and you must all like the Black Lives Matter, even though they completely fucked everybody over in the Black Lives Matter movement by just buying up fucking mansions. It was a grift that people, even my friends, got freaking hooked into. One of the guys I was talking to at his camp, and he was like, oh, I gave $50 to Black Lives Matter. I'm like, oh, really? Did you find out where that money went to? I would have, maybe done the base amount of, just a certain amount of research and investigation before I went and did that. When I give money, I don't have a whole lot of money to give. I'm on ODSP, and man, most of my stuff goes towards just food and rent to make sure that my family here is making it through the month now. It's that bad. And I should be one of the people the most that are being like, oh no, we need more money, give me more money on ODSP to live, government, But I don't think that's a good idea. And the more money you print out, the more money that shit is not going to be worth any kind of value whatsoever when it comes to purchasing power. So, it's definitely... But the thing is with Canada is that it is a, money printing and, giving out to random stupid ideas and functions machine. We give out millions and billions of dollars over the past, decade to, warlords, to literal war. And we're not even talking about the Zelensky Jewish guy leading neo-Nazis, which this is the world we live in, folks, regime. And, hey, I don't like Putin. He got tricked into the whole thing, probably shouldn't have done it, but at the same time, too, let's not be honest, there's been Nazis running the Ukrainian government since the Maidan Square protest in 2014, but you won't see the media report on that. You won't see CBC putting their resources on that thing to get to the public that, hey, maybe we shouldn't be sending money over to a regime that has swastikas and doesn't really they all if you've seen the videos, it's messed up. They have the Azov battalion. It's if we had a branch of the military or navy or whatnot that was that were big fans of Hitler, I don't think that would fly in today's pussified military, and it shouldn't. Because you shouldn't have people from extreme ideologies going out there and killing people. You think they give a shit about the Geneva Convention or basic human fucking rights? Fuck no. There's tons of video of them just murdering everybody they come across and putting bombs in fucking schoolyards and shit and using terrorist tactics. The Chechens are oh my god! But that's pretty crazy too. When you're seeing the Russians bringing the Chechens in because they don't give a fuck too. They're very militant people. So it's interesting how both sides are just using like the worst kind of tactics over there. It's just a horrible freaking thing to be in the beginning. And I mean, look, the UN has like failed completely and should be dismantled, aside from maybe their food programs. When even the food programs, like, guys, how come you haven't paid attention to us? Oh, I'll go over there and whine in the corner. Food programs. I am Klaus Schwab. You will eat the bugs. Unless you are making the food into bugs, I am not interested. I am Klaus Schwab. I will sit here, talk the German, lead the world in the Economic World Forum, stroke my fucking hairless fucking fur cat, and talk about how you're all fucking useless eaters and how we're gonna replace you with machines and fucking kill you all off with all kinds of horrible fucking methods that these scientific elite are now seeing us as fucking cattle to be culled. And there used to be a conspiracy theory. In the 90s, if you were that guy that was talking about how the government wants to cull the population, they'd laugh at you. Now people are starting to fucking see it. And at least people are starting to see the fact that this country, and not just this country, I mean, it's funny how a lot of people who are probably, if there's anybody here that listens to me out of the, like, you know, I think 50 or 60 subscribers or people that listen to what I have to say, you know, if you're from the States, you know, a lot of the times you're looking from things from a, you know, a U.S. perspective and all the corruption that's going on there. And I think it's great to be politically aware and stuff like that. But, you know, it's also good to be aware of the fact that this is an international fight. You know, it's not about nations being able to make their own laws anymore. I mean, look at what we tried to do here with in Ontario and Canada. We tried to get rid of the sex ed curriculum that was put in by a guy who got busted with child porn. You know, you'd think that would immediately discredit the guy and his policies, especially when it comes to the in regards of, oh, I don't know, let's say the most innocent and vulnerable children. You know? No, apparently that's a good thing because the liberals love sexual deviants, and it's kind of interesting how, you know, even though we went to the Supreme Court, they still shut that shit down. And I mean, what's the point of politics? You know, it doesn't really seem that we're going to get much political change. And I'm not saying that we need to have a revolution or whatnot, but people need to wake the fuck up. And I'm the kind of person where I'll go out on a corner with a protest shirt if it gets too bad and it pisses me off too much, and do something about it. And I wish more people would do that. You know, it feels awkward. You don't really want to do it. It's like I got a screwed up spine and my back hurts like hell, so I can only do it for about an hour. You know, but I'm still gonna go out there and do what I can because there's a lot of people out there that don't. And I mean, you know, you can. And the thing about it is that you can play the whole me game all you want. And yeah, you can sit down there, you can just stay out of it. But then you got no complaints. You can't complain at the price of everything getting higher. You can't complain about the fact that there is no fucking future and that the banks are going to collapse at any fucking moment right now, because you've all went along with it. And I'm not talking to people that are listening to what I'm saying here. Obviously, you guys, especially if you've listened this long and it's been almost an hour of me ranting, you know, like, you guys are obviously, or women, hey, if there's any girls out there, good too. Just saying, most of the people are usually men that are libertarian-minded, unfortunately. Just talking about the demographics of things, not that it's a bad thing or anything, and everybody has their own functions in society and are good at things or bad at things and are awesome in their own ways. But, you know, there are generalizations of people, and people, when you look at the mass of people in a generalization, then unfortunately you have to come to certain different conclusions that may be against certain orthodoxies on the left and right, you know? I mean, the housing crisis is a problem. It's, you know, you can't get a place to live for $350 like you used to be able to, you know. It's like even just renting a room is gone up to like $700, you know, $800, or you know, God forbid, trying to like rent like a bachelor pad at some places that still do bachelor pads, you know. And even then, you're getting put into like those like that kind of smart city initiative where they try to get you into the small rooms and make you live like the tiny life when, you know, you don't have any room to do anything. I mean, for people that like to have stuff, that's good. I mean, you know, you should, if you're working your ass off, you should be able to, you know, it should be easier for you to be able to buy a house, like, you know, and acquire stuff and you know, acquire resources and finances for your family and stuff, you know. I mean, for me, I always worked. Before I screwed up my spine, I mean, I was always a hard worker. Even before even when I used to skirt the old child labor laws, I'd be out there with a shovel. And I think a lot of people have that kind of, mentality for going out there and doing what they can. But, we're punished for it. We live in Canada. Everything is regulated. Everything is completely taxed to shit, to the point where it's really hard for business owners to be able to thrive here without having to deal with a bunch of crap. I mean, if you don't have the right connections, if you don't have the right legal representation and people jumping through the tax loopholes and stuff like that for you, you're gonna go out of business. And that's pretty much how it's been marketed. We've gone away from the decentralization of like local communities and stuff like that. We've gone to the centralization of power, and I mean, they've made it where that Amazon, people will buy from Amazon because it's way too convenient. It's cheap, it's convenient, and it's government subsidized. Now, if that wasn't government subsidized and they had to compete with another government subsidized like Canada Post or stuff like that, that's another story to have. But we don't see that. It's all being gamed towards certain people making the money, and you're lucky to be able to ever get to half of what the big boys are able to do as any kind of organization or corporation or any kind of like entity that is affecting change on more of a collectivized kind of like size, as opposed to just one person doing their thing, right? But it's funny. I mean, like you got guys like Elon Musk though, and it's just kind of weird how like it's you get a guy that can just buy something up and throw a wrench in there. And I mean, if you look at what he has to say in his family and like his history and stuff, like I don't trust him, but I'm glad he's out there. And I mean, obviously he's saying a lot of really good things, and like I think it's pretty kick-ass that he went to the World Economic Forum and just told them, listen guys, this whole one world government thing's a bad idea. But maybe he's doing that to be like the opposition, because I mean, we're talking about globalists that are like the smartest people in the room, and they instead of seeing like developing humanity for something that we could all benefit from, and like eliminate a lot of the problems that we do have on both the left and the right and those issues and concerns, it doesn't get used for that. It gets used to make as much money as possible, and then to isolate and control society. And it's really messed up. I mean, everybody's like, oh, what's going on with the banks or whatnot? But like, all this stuff is being meant to engineer a societal collapse so that we go into a Chinese social credit system. And as much as you try to tell people that, they're like, oh, a Chinese social credit system. Oh, geez, that sounds actually kind of cool. What kind of Chinese social credit system would I be able to like buy cool stuff with? Will I get money from the government and not have to do anything for it? It's like, no, the whole Chinese social credit system is everything you do in your day-to-day life is controlled, tracked, monitored, and judged on a social credit score. And to a certain point, it's gotten so bad with the Sesame credit system in China, where if you know somebody who has maybe they just think the police are kind of being a little bit too rough with people and kind of a little bit more tyrannical than what they need to be, as opposed to those people that should be, friendly police guy that's helping old ladies across the and making sure that crime doesn't happen. I mean, your main job is to make sure that crime gets reduced, or at least the part doesn't go sporadically out of control, and by doing that, you have to have social cohesion, you have to have trust in your community, you have to have the people know that you have their best interests in mind and that you're taking out the elements of society that are very harmful to them. But if you are that authoritarian, harmful thing that could ruin their entire fucking lives at a life's moment for having the wrong opinion, then, they're not going to see you as a friendly police officer. They're gonna, but if because you happen to know a guy who said something about, or maybe someone in your family has different things. And I mean, Chinese and like really do give a damn about their family, and it's really messed up how a lot of families have been just destroyed over this whole COVID thing. And that's internet all across the world. There's been families that have disagreed and broken up and had falling outs, or certain people that bought into this bullshit, or certain people that fucking took the vaccines and died, and other family members are pissed off, and there's that kind of whole thing where you get people, let's say the matriarch or the patriarch dies of the family, and then you got the kids and the other people in the family and the relatives that like, did they die from the vax? Oh no, you don't say that. Well, I think they died from the vax. Oh no, they didn't. You're just being crazy and paranoid, and it's all division. Meanwhile, they sold us the means to kill us, and we just. There's tons of people that have called this out, but it's being censored to such a ridiculous amount that it's ridiculous. We don't have an objective media anymore. I mean, you have like the CBC, CTV. Oh, Justin Trudeau is. Oh yes, Chinese interference is a good thing. Oh, Chinese interference is wonderful. Meanwhile, if this was Trump, and it wasn't China, it was Russia that got people elected, like, all you'd fucking hear from the left is, oh my god, Trump is Russian agent, oh no, we need to put all the Trump supporters in gulags and prisons because they're Chinese, they're Russian spies. Chinese spies, though, oh, they get a fucking pass. They can threaten fucking reporters that were going against the, Li Meng, whatever that bullshit bitch from fucking Huawei was when they tried to do that thing. They actually had Chinese spies in Canada, in Vancouver, that were threatening the lady who was in charge of the story. They were putting like dead fucking birds on the hood of her car and fucking with her vehicle and shit like that. And then apparently her family went missing in China because she went public with the story and talking about the Chinese connections with the Huawei scandal and how they've like heavily influenced with the I guess like different contracts and stuff like that. Like, the thing about the Chinese is that they're smart enough that they merged pretty much their business dealings with the government. So every business that says that they're from China or from even at Hong Kong at one point before, because they knew that they were going to put in their Chinese businesses in Hong Kong. Like, I mean, Reliance, for example, if you have that here, they're like a Hong Kong, now Chinese-owned company, so no wonder why you're getting fucked over for Reliance cost if you're wondering why you're paying too much per month for that shit. Well, I can tell you you're fucking right. But it's gotten to the point now where the Chinese government and is in with every business. So every time that there's a business dealing, every time a Chinese-backed realtor buys up fucking property in downtown Toronto or freaking Vancouver, they know exactly what they're doing. They're spreading their influence in there. And a lot of the times they're putting their own people in there, and they're using it to rig elections here in Canada, because that's what it is. Canada is this wonderful diversity thing where they just, instead of getting people in big areas to actually integrate, no, we don't do that. We just flood fucking people from all different parts of the world, and they go to, like, Toronto, so then you get Chinatown. Oh, then you get this area over here that has this kind of culture, and this town over here that has this culture. They're not integrating into into society. It's diversity, but they're just putting us into different types of little groups inside of fucking... And pretty much the Liberals have been making... And the NDP have been making strides. That's all they do is flood fucking people that vote left. You think they'll take people from countries that are conservative? I think even probably some of the people that are bringing the Ukrainians over here are kind of like, I don't know, we shouldn't be bringing too many of those Ukrainians over there. Some of them are a little bit more right-wing than we want them to be. Slava Ukraine, but not that Slava. The same people that'll be like, we need to support Ukraine, won't send their fucking kids over there to die. I can tell you that right fucking now. Well, anyways, I've been ranting for enough, but I'm going to see how the heck I'm going to try to get this uploaded. And it's been a while since I've done any of that stuff. I had another computer beforehand, but I know it's just a matter of learning programs and getting good again. So, anyways, I'm going to be doing more of my Wrecktitude media stuff again, because I'm pissed off. I mean, like, the whole LGBT thing, like, I don't really care what people do. I've said it before, I'm more libertarian in that way. But, you know, the fact that they were bringing kids in there, and the fact that the media goes there, doesn't even talk to our side to, like, get the actual facts. You know, oh, they just go over there to see, oh, there's a guy over there talking to, like, a few random people that happen to just be interested, that didn't even know about the protest, and was having just a good conversation with them. The actual protesters were inside. But I think that's kind of the beauty of it, because, I mean, at the same time, like, I guess Carl, like, mission accomplished, dude, right on. You know, like, your buddies got in there. They probably thought, oh, these religious people are all of a sudden, like, turning into, want to hear, oh, maybe they're here to see you. Look at the color of this book and how we're going to sexualize kids. Oh, wow. No, they're here clearly to protest. And, you know, if we had any kind of, let's just say just basic comprehensive skills to understand that, like, it makes good to be a journalist, to at least make the public think that you have a shred of journalistic integrity and objectivity. You know, just a shred, a modicum maybe. Instead, no, you go with the, oh, there's only a couple people over there. Oh, there's more people over here. Supporters outnumber protesters. CBC. Yay, win for us. Love is love. You can touch kids. I mean, what? Fuck the CBC. I mean, let's be honest. Behind every mainstream media broadcast, there's probably 6 fucking pedophiles. Whether or not they're running the camera, whether or not they're the news anchors, whether or not they're in the fucking back rooms, jerking it on fucking Pornhub. So it's not like they actually do their fucking jobs. That's ridiculous. I mean, you know, I hate the fact that I'm on ODSP. I hate the fact that I rely on government. I wish I could have an independent job or whatnot where I could do it from home and actually make money and not have my computer get fucking eaten up by viruses. Alright? Like, I hate relying on the government. 100%. And unfortunately I need to, because my back is completely fucked and I can't really do things for more than 2-3 hours. I can go out there and, like, shovel the driveway when it's a big snowstorm, and even that was kicking my ass after a while. But I'm limited to what I can do on a long... I can't work an 8-hour shift or, you know, even part-time shifts, unfortunately. It fucking sucks. And so I'm usually laying down on the bed most of the time. If you see me, usually with the videos, it's usually me just ranting, me laying down. And that's pretty much the only time where my back's not really kicking my ass. But, you know, I mean, I had to go out there and protest. I had to go out there and do stuff, even though I don't really feel too strongly about the transhumanist kind of agenda of the UN. Just because, like, I know it's a thing. And for me, it's like, all right, don't bring your kids to drag queen story time hour if you don't agree with it. But we're at a point now where it's being, like, pushed heavily on, like, even our educational and, like, the curriculum that they're teaching our kids. And I'm also of the libertarian thing that we should, you know, I mean, the taxes that we pay do go towards these functions, but let's be honest, a lot of the teachers are Marxist liberals that don't have any, like, they can't fucking make it in their own fucking world, you know, or be responsible. They have to, you know, live in this fucking Arrested Development fucking fantasy fucking land for their whole lives, and you know, they just expect everybody to follow them with the current fucking thing, and not actually look into any kind of logical arguments or the other side, what they have to say at all, and it's, I'm not surprised, you know, I'm really not surprised. You know, we've come to a bad part where I don't know what the future is going to entail. It's not like we're going to have a bunch of patriots that all of a sudden realize that this is bullshit, and, you know, maybe at one point when it gets really, really bad and, like, they're trying to be like, oh, well, you have to give up your money and you have to switch over to this digital system now. You know, maybe we'll get a few people that get pissed off or whatnot, you know, and say something, but I see a lot of pussified fucking people that are going to go along with this shit, and they're going to be like, all right, well, I just don't want to be bothered with it, bye. Oh, just leave me alone, bye. Oh, I just want to drink my beer. I just want to drink my Tim Hortons and watch the hockey game, eh? Well, fuck you. Fuck you, you useless fucking piece of shit. Completely okay with them taking every fucking dollar that you fucking make, and then you go over and fucking give some shit to somebody on fucking welfare or ODSP that actually needs it. let alone the people that don't fucking need it and take advantage of that shit. That fucking shit's wrong too. It's not a black and white problem or solution. There's many intricacies to the types of fuckery that the human condition is, because the brightest people out there are not working on how to maximize making society run efficiently. No, they're more worried about what you have to think. Oh, the ideas that are counter to their fucking bullshit fucking propaganda. Oh, God forbid you say the wrong fucking thing. God forbid you say that this is a bad fucking idea. God forbid that you say that you want to keep your fucking country your own country and you don't want to integrate it into this weird fucking melting pot fucking diversity fucking shit show where everybody is still fighting with each other or voting differently or not even like giving a damn about each other. It's ridiculous. It's you know, but then there's certain cultures, they're allowed to have, Japanese, oh no, we don't want to bring too many people in there. Oh, we don't want to mess with their culture. South Korea, oh no, we don't want to mess with their culture. It's totally okay that they don't allow people, you know, of certain colors and whatnot to go there. Oh, China, oh no, they're euthanizing millions of Uyghurs. Muslim Uyghurs? Oh, that's totally fine. That's Islamophobia that the mainstream media and just the fucking world is totally fine with. They're totally fine with the fucking Chinese, you know, raping fucking Muslim Uyghur fucking women and breeding them out, or fucking killing the fucking any of the men that try to stand up and try to be like, hey, we're our own people. It's ridiculous. And I just don't want people in general to fucking die, or I want everybody to, you know, like a rising tide to raise all the boats. I want everybody in every country to do well so they don't have to, you know, feel like they're in a place where it's collapsing and they have to go to another place that's also collapsing. It's like you're just jumping from one fucking boat, a small boat with a fucking hole into it, to a bigger boat with a fucking hole in it. Oh, maybe I'll get a couple of minutes. Maybe I'll get some time to make myself happy before the fucking ship goes under. Now, the people at the top have made money off this. And I think it's funny. I wish I would like to see the left call out fucking Big Pharma and all the people that made money off this fucking vaccine scam. You think they'll say anything against their fucking big overlord Amazon? They'll be like, oh, Amazon, we're on the left. Oh, Amazon should maybe give their employees better living conditions and better working conditions and a little bit more money. You think that's the fucking solution? It's your leftist fucking lazy fucking policies and ass that has led to these assholes getting away with being hugely government subsidized and like being the choice of everyone. Like they were designed and they were put in there to make that money. They didn't allow somebody else that they could have subsidized on a local level that could have probably done a better job. Nope. But maybe would have actually given a good jobs to, you know, in a decentralized setting. Because in a decentralized setting, you can't have those giant fucking corporate, bureaucratic blown over like overlords of the company and the few peon people that underneath it that are trying to squirm their way up. You know, it's if you fuck somebody else over, I mean, you're gonna be screwing over the entire area, and then they're gonna be pissed off, and they're gonna use their power to get you out. You know, but that's not how it works now. It's the more cutthroat you are, the more ruthless you are, the more willing you are to be able to, use legal departments or the economic means or whatever power or advantage that you have in the market over other companies so that you can take them over, you can knock them down. Then that's pretty much not helping anything. It's causing the and the funny thing is that we're actually becoming more of like what Ayn Rand said about. Obviously the government is doing more of the overreach now and running the show, but we're still seeing the rise of these like mega corporations that are like allowed by the government. Walmart was allowed to open, they were allowed, you were allowed fucking 100 fucking people in Walmart all fucking waiting next to each other with the stupid little fucking signs under them and arrows and shit with their little fucking slave masks on, breathing the same fucking air and farting in the same fucking area. It's ridiculous. And then they just came out and realized, what's this, like the fourth independent study now that have came out to show that masks didn't fucking work in the first place? Ridiculous. Anyways. Well, it's about an hour and 20 minutes. I've stopped ranting now, so I'm going to, like I said, try to figure out how to upload this thing. All right, well, everybody out there and wherever you're listening this to, because I'm not just uploading it to YouTube anymore. I'm definitely going to be doing the BitChute and Rumble and trying to get other platforms that I can do again. I just have to, like, find out where I did with it, because it's been, like, I think, like, didn't post anything since last year, so I definitely got to get back into the swing of things. So, anyways, keep on rocking out there and in the supposed free world. And, yeah, all right. Peace.